20,000 defence security clearances will have to be rechecked, including 5,000 employees vetted at top secret level. The revelation emerged at Senate estimates hearings in Canberra today. Earlier this year, 3 whistleblowers told Lateline that information in thousands of security checks on Australian military and civilian personnel had been fabricated to speed up the clearance process. Some of the false defence clearances were eventually entered into ASIO's database. The Shadow Defence Minister, David Johnston, told the Senate hearings that 3 Labor ministers were told of the problems with security vetting last year, but failed to take action. John Stewart reports.
In May, 3 former defence workers told Lateline that false information had been included in thousands of security checks to speed up the vetting process. They said the information was made up to fill in the gaps, and ASIO's security database had been seriously compromised.
One of them didn't have a birth certificate, and so it was a case of these problems exist, and what do you want me to do about it? And I was told these words: be creative.
The clearances included background checks on security guards working at military bases, staff at Australian embassies and senior public servants working with sensitive information. Today, the Deputy Secretary for Intelligence and Security, Stephen Merchant, told a Senate estimates hearing how many clearances would now have to be rechecked.
We're looking at a validation exercise that will extend over thousands of applications.
Is that 5,000, 10,000, 200,000?
Our initial focus will be on about 5,000 top secret clearances, but we will extend that to also lower level clearances. So the total number is probably going to be more around the 20,000 clearances.
Right. The whistleblowers were interviewed by a management consultant who prepared a report for the Defence Department in 2010. Defence officials today admitted the report contained a warning about compromised security vetting, but they'd failed to act until 3 whistleblowers spoke out on the Lateline program a year later.
I readily concede, and the Minister has said this, that it was unfortunate and it was not right that we did not follow through appropriately on that reference. And it indeed is my sincere wish that we would have got onto it much earlier so that we didn't have to have the issue aired on Lateline before we picked it up and then started to look at it.
The Shadow Defence Minister, David Johnston, told the Senate hearing that defence security staff had raised their concerns with Labor ministers, but they'd failed to pass on the information to the Defence Department.
3 ministers were advised of this in 2010, and one of them was a cabinet minister. It didn't surface until almost a year later.
However, defence officials say that most of the concerns being raised by defence staff were about bullying and harassment within the Defence Security Authority and not about security vetting.
I think to suggest that people sat on their hands is your characterisation. I wouldn't characterise it like that. I mean, I think the emphasis was clearly on the bullying and the behavioural issue. The matter of the process was raised. It was raised as an adjunct point, if you like, in the report that you speak of. We can't comment on what ministers were or were not told. I have no idea.
A spokesman for the Defence Minister's office says that Senator Johnston's claims are baseless, and the government has taken the matter very seriously since the allegations were first raised in May this year. The spokesman said an initial assessment of the Defence Security Authority has already been conducted, and the Inspector General of Intelligence and Security is currently investigating the vetting operations. John Stewart, Lateline.